Good afternoon. We are reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and we are on a chapter called The Master's Reminiscences. It's chapter 39 if you're following along in your own book, and we're on page 748 at the very bottom of the page. We have people on Zoom as well as people in the temple. So. A devotee. Now, Ramakrishna has been just talking about how everyone is deluded by lust and greed in the world. And his final statement last week was, all are deluded by lust and greed, but I do not care for it at all, and I swear to you that I do not know anything but God. A devotee asked, Sir, a new sect named Navahalol has been started. Lalit Chatterjee is one of its members. The Master, there are different views, but all these views are but so many paths to reach the same goal. But everyone believes that his view alone is right, that his watch alone keeps the correct time. Girish to M. Do you remember what Pope says about it? 'Tis with our judgments as our watches. None go just alike, yet each believes his own. Master to M. What does it mean? M. Everyone thinks that his own watch keeps the correct time, but different watches do not give the same time. Master. But however wrong the watches may be, the sun never makes a mistake. One should check one's watch with the sun. A devotee. Mr. X tells lies. Master. Truthfulness in speech is the tapasya of the Kali Yuga. It is difficult to practice other austerities in this cycle. By adhering to truth, one attains God. Tulsidas said, truthfulness, obedience to God, and the regarding of others' wives as one's mother are the greatest virtues. Now we have to remember that most of this was recorded while Ramakrishna was in a group of men. There were very few women present when M was present. That was the cultural situation at the time. This is the 1800s. One does not realize God by practicing them. If one does not realize God by practicing, then Tulsi is a liar. Keshav Sen assumed his father's debts. Others would have repudiated them. I visited Devendra's Samaj at Joroshanko and found Keshav meditating on the dais. He was then a young man. I said to Mathur Babu, of all who are meditating here, this young man's float alone has sunk underwater. The fish is biting at the hook. This is an allusion to a story he tells about how in concentration, when you're fishing and you watch the float till it goes, and you can whip up the fish. There was a man whom I shall not name, who for 10,000 rupees told a lie in court. In order to win the lawsuit, he made me give an offering to the Divine Mother. He said to me, Father, please give this offering to the Mother. Trusting him like a child, I gave the offering. Devotee, a nice man indeed. Master, but he had such faith in me that he believed the Mother would grant his prayer if I but made the offering. Referring to Lalit Babu, Sri Ramakrishna said, is it an easy matter to get rid of pride? There are very few who are without pride. Balaram is one of them, pointing to a devotee, and here is another. Other people in their position would have swelled with pride. They would have parted their hair and showed other traits of tamas. They would have been proud of their learning. The fat Brahmin, referring to Pran Krishna, still has a little of it. To M. Mahima Chakravarti has read many books, hasn't he? M. Yes, sir, he has read a great deal. Master smiling. I wish he and Girish could meet. Then we could enjoy a little discussion. Girish smiling. Doesn't he say that by means of sadhana, all people can be like Krishna. Master, not exactly that, but something like it. Devotee, sir, can all be like Sri Krishna? Master, an incarnation of God, or one born with some of the characteristics of an incarnation, is called an Ishvarakoti. An ordinary man is called a jiva, or a jivakoti. By dint of sadhana, a jivakoti can realize God. But after samadhi, he cannot come back to the plane of relative consciousness. The Ishvarakoti is like the king's son. He has the keys to all the rooms of the 7-story palace. He can climb to all the 7 floors and come down at will. A jivakoti is like a petty officer. He can enter some of the rooms of the palace. That is his limit. Janaka was a jnani. He attained knowledge by means of his sadhana, but Shukadev was knowledge itself. Girish, Master, Shukadev did not attain knowledge through sadhana. Like Shukadev, Narada also had the knowledge of Brahman. But he retained bhakti in order to teach people. Prahlada sometimes assumed the attitude of I am he, sometimes that of a servant of God, and sometimes that of his child. Hanuman also was like that. All may wish for such lofty state, but all cannot attain it. Some bamboos are hollower than others. Some are more solid inside. A devotee, you say that your spiritual experiences are for others to refer to. Tell us what we should do. Master, if you want to realize God, then you must cultivate intense dispassion. You must renounce immediately what you feel to be standing in your way. You should not put it off until the future. Lust and greed is the obstruction. The mind must be withdrawn from it. One must not be slow or lazy. A man was going to bathe. He had his towel on his shoulder. His wife said to him, "You are worthless. You're getting old and still you cannot give up some of your habits. You cannot live a single day without me. But look at that man. What a renouncer he is." The husband asked, "Why, what has he done?" Wife, "He has 16 wives, and he is renouncing them one by one. You will never be able to renounce." Husband, "Renouncing his wives one by one? Are you crazy? He won't be able to renounce. If a man is to renounce, does he do it little by little?" Wife, smiling, "Still, he is better than you." Husband, "You are silly, you don't understand. He cannot renounce, but I can. See, here I go." The master continued, "That is called intense renunciation. No sooner did the man discriminate than he renounced. He went away with the towel on his shoulder. He didn't turn back to settle his worldly affairs. He didn't even look back at his home. He who wants to renounce needs great strength of mind. He must have a daredevil attitude like a dacoit's." That's a pirate, kind of. "Before looting a house, the dacoit shout, 'Kill, murder, loot.' Cultivate devotion and love of God, and so pass your days. What else can you do?" When Krishna went away, Jashoda became insane with grief and visited Radha. Radha was moved by her sorrow and appeared before her as Adyashakti. She said, "My child, ask a boon of me." Jashoda replied, "Mother, what else shall I ask of you? Bless me that I may serve Krishna alone with my body, mind, and speech, that I may behold his devotees with these eyes, that I may go with these feet to the place where his divine sport is manifested, that I may serve him and his devotees with these hands, that I may devote all my sense organs to his service alone. As Sri Ramakrishna uttered these words, he was about to go into ecstasy. Suddenly he exclaimed, Kali, the embodiment of destruction? No. Nitya Kali, my eternal divine mother. With great difficulty, he restrained himself. He was starting to say more about Jashoda when Mahendra Mukherjee arrived. Mahendra and his younger brother Priya had been visiting the master for some time. Mahendra owned a flour mill and other businesses. His brother was an engineer. Both the brothers engaged people to manage their affairs and therefore had considerable leisure. Mahendra was 36 or 37, and his brother was 2 years younger. Besides their country home at Kadeti, they had a house in Bagh Bazar, Calcutta. A young devotee named Hari accompanied them on their visits to Sri Ramakrishna. Hari was married but greatly devoted to the master. Mahendra and Hari had not visited Dakshineshwar for a long time. They saluted Sri Ramakrishna. Master, hello. Why haven't you visited Dakshineshwar for so long? Mahendra, sir, I've been away from Calcutta. I was in Kadeti. Master, you have no children. You don't serve anyone. And still you have no leisure. Goodness gracious. The devotees remained silent. Mahendra was a little embarrassed. Master to Mahendra, why am I saying all this to you? You are sincere and generous. You have love for God. Mahendra, you are saying these words for my good. Master smiling. You see, we don't take any collection during the performance at our place. Jadu's mother says to me, other sadhus always ask for money, but you do not. Worldly people feel annoyed if they have to spend money. A theatrical performance was being given at a certain place. A man felt a great desire to take a seat and see it. He peeped in and saw that a collection was being taken from the audience. Quietly, he slipped away. Another performance was being given at some other place. He went there and, inquiring, found that no collection would be taken. There was a great rush of people. He elbowed his way through the crowd and reached the center of the hall. There he picked out a nice seat for himself, twirled his mustaches, and sat through the performance. Everyone laughed. You have no children to divert your mind. I know a deputy magistrate who draws a salary of 800 rupees a month. He went to Keshav's house to see a performance. I was there too. Rakal and a few other devotees were with me and sat beside me. After a while, Rakal went out for a few minutes. The deputy magistrate came over and made his young son take Rakal's seat. I said, he can't sit there. At that time, I was in such a state of mind that I had to do whatever the person next to me would ask me to do, so I had seated Rakal next to me. As long as the performance lasted, the deputy did nothing but gibber with his son. The rascal didn't look at the performance even once. I heard, too, that he was a slave to his wife. He gets up and sits down as she tells him to. And he didn't see the performance for that snub-nosed monkey of a boy. To Mahendra, do you practice meditation? Mahendra, yes, sir, a little. Master, come to Dakshineshwar now and then. Mahendra smiling, yes, sir, I will. You know where my knots and twists are. You will straighten them out. Master smiling, first come to Dakshineshwar, then I shall press your limbs to see where your twists are. Why don't you come? Mahendra, because of the pressure of my duties. Besides, I have to go to my country home now and then. Master to Mahendra, pointing his finger at the devotees. Have they no homes or dwelling places? Have they no duties? How is it that they come? To Hari, You haven't come to Dakshineshwar. Is your wife living with you? Hari, no, sir. Master, then why did you forget me? Hari, I haven't been well, sir. Master to the devotees, he looks thin. He has no small measure of bhakti. He is overflowing with it. But it is of a rather troublesome nature. Laughter. Sri Ramakrishna used to address a certain devotee's wife by the name of Hobby's mother. Her brother, a college student, aged about 20, was there. He stood up ready to go and play cricket. The younger brother, named Dvija, was also a devotee of the Master. Both brothers left the room. A few minutes later, Dvija returned. The Master said, "Why didn't you go?" The devotee answered, "He wants to hear the music. Perhaps that's why he has come back." Trilokya, the Brahmo devotee who was to sing for the Master. Paltu arrived. The Master said, "Who is this?" "Ah, it is Paltu." I think you could, yeah. Purna, another young devotee, also arrived. It was with great difficulty that Sri Ramakrishna had managed to have him come. His relatives strongly objected to his visiting the Master. Purna was a student in the 5th grade of the school where M taught. The boy prostrated himself before Sri Ramakrishna. The Master seated him by his side and was talking to him in a low voice. M was sitting near them. The other devotees were talking about various things. Girish, sitting on the other side of the room, was reading A Life of Keshav. Master to Purna, "Come nearer." Girish to M, "Who is this boy?" M was afraid the others might notice the boy. This would make trouble for him at home, and M would be responsible for it. M sharply, "Don't you see he is a boy?" Girish smiling, "I need no ghost to tell me that." The Master and the boy were talking in low tones. Master, "Do you practice what I asked you to?" Purna, "Yes, sir." Master, "Do you dream? Do you dream of a flame, a lighted torch, a married woman, a cremation ground?" "It is good to dream of these things." Purna, "I dream of you. You are seated and were telling me something." Master, "What? Some instruction? Tell me some of it." Purna, "I don't remember now." Master, "Never mind, but it is very good. You will make progress. You feel attracted to me, don't you?" A few minutes later, Sri Ramakrishna said to the boy, Won't you come there?" He meant Dakshineshwar. "I can't promise," answered the boy. Master, "Why? Doesn't one of your relatives live nearby?" Purna, "Yes, sir, but it won't be very convenient for me to go." Girish was reading A Life of Keshav, written by Trilokya of the Brahmo Samaj. In it, Trilokya said that at first Sri Ramakrishna had been very much opposed to the world, but that after meeting Keshav, he had changed his mind and had come to believe that one could lead a spiritual life in the world as well. Several devotees had told the Master about this. They wanted to discuss it with Trilokya. Those passages in the book had been read to the Master. Noticing the book in Girish's hand, Sri Ramakrishna said to Girish, M, Ram, and the other devotees, "Those people are busy with the world. That is why they set such a high value on worldly life. They are drowned in lust and greed. One doesn't talk that way after realizing God. After enjoying divine bliss, one looks on the world as crow droppings. At the very outset, I utterly renounced everything. Not only did I renounce the company of worldly people, but now and then the company of devotees as well. I noticed that the devotees were dropping dead one by one, and that made my heart writhe with pain. But now I keep one or two of them with me. Girish left for home, saying he would come back. Trilokya arrived with Jayagopal Sen. They bowed before the master and sat down. He inquired about their health. The younger Narayan entered the room and saluted Sri Ramakrishna. The master said to him, "Why didn't you see me last Saturday?" Trilokya was about to sing. Master, you sang that day about the blissful mother. How sweetly you sang. Other songs seem insipid to me. That day I didn't enjoy even Narendra's singing. Why don't you sing those songs again? Trilokya sang, "Victory to Gora, Sachi's son, hail abode of every virtue, touchstone of love, ocean of bliss, man's bewitcher, beauteous of form, enchanting the eye like shining gold. His tender arms that reach to the knee, graceful and long as lotus stalks, are lovingly stretched to all mankind. His lotus face of matchless beauty overflows with the nectar of love. His cheeks are covered with curling hair. Alight with heavenly love, his beauty charms the eye, beaming with fervor, radiant with bliss, his body trembling with Hari's joy. Gauranga, the golden, dances like a mad elephant, shaking in all his limbs with the frenzy of love. Gauranga, singer of Hari's glories, prize of every sadhu's heart, fairest of men, the ocean of love, embraces the outcast, calls him brother, takes him in his arms in fervent love. He dances with both his arms upraised and sings Hari's name. The tears are streaming down his cheeks. He weeps, he cries, he trembles, roars and rages, saying, 'Where is Hari, the jewel of my heart?' The hair on his limbs is standing on end, like a kadamba flower is his body. Covered with dust, he rolls on the ground. O thou, the abode of Hari's Leela, fountainhead of love's elixir, friend of the helpless, glory of Banga, hail Chaitanya, thou who shinest bright as the moon in the Bhakta's heart." Sri Ramakrishna left the room for a moment. The women devotees were seated near the screen. They were eager to see Sri Ramakrishna. Trilokya went on with his music. Sri Ramakrishna entered the room again and said to Trilokya, "Please sing a little about the blissful mother." Trilokya sang, "O mother, how deep is thy love for men. Mindful of it, I weep for joy." Listening to the song, the younger Narayan went into a deep meditation. He remained still as a log. Sri Ramakrishna said to him, "Look at him. He is totally unaware of the outward world." The song was over. At Sri Ramakrishna's request, Trilokya sang, "O mother, make me mad with thy love. What need have I of knowledge or reason?" Ram asked him to sing about Hari. Trilokya sang, "Chant, O mind, the name of Hari. Sing aloud the name of Hari. Praise Lord Hari's name. And praising Hari's name, O mind, cross the ocean of the world. Hari dwells in earth, in water. Hari dwells in fire and air. In sun and moon he dwells. Hari's ever-living presence fills the boundless universe." M said in a low voice to Trilokya, "Please, Gora Nitai, ye blessed brothers." Sri Ramakrishna too asked him to sing the song. Trilokya and the devotees sang it in chorus, the master joining in. When it was over, the master sang, "Behold, the two brothers have come who weep while chanting Hari's name. The brothers who in return for blows offer to sinners Hari's love, embracing everyone as brother, even the outcast shunned by men, Behold, the two brothers have come, who once were Kanai and Balai of Braja. Sri Ramakrishna is saying again, see how Alnadja is shaking under the waves of Gauranga's love. Then, who are they that walk along chanting Hari's name? O Madhai, O Madhai, go and see. They seem to be Gaur and Nitai, with golden anklets on their lovely feet, shaven of head and clad in rags. They reel like madmen as they go. The younger Narayan, was about to leave. Master, show great devotion to your parents, but don't obey them if they stand in your way to God. You must gird your loins with great determination and say, this rogue of a father. Narayan, truly I have no fear. Girish arrived. Sri Ramakrishna introduced him to Trilokya. He asked them to talk to each other. A few minutes later, the master said, that song again, please. Trilokya sang, victory to Gora, Sachi's son, hail, abode of every virtue, touchstone of love, ocean of bliss, man's bewitcher, beauteous of form, enchanting the eye like shining gold. Sri Ramakrishna went into samadhi. He stood up totally unconscious of the world. Regaining partial consciousness, he begged Trilokya to sing, oh, what a vision I have behold. And I think we'll stop. Well, no, we won't. Trilokya sang, oh, what a vision I have beheld in Keshab Bharati's hut. Gora in all his matchless grace, shedding tears in 1,000 streams. Like a mad elephant, he dances in ecstasy and sings, drunk with an overwhelming love. Rolling flat upon the ground and swimming in his tears, he weeps and shouts Lord Hari's name, piercing the very heavens with his cries, loud as a lion's roar. Then most humbly he begs man's love to feel himself the servant of God. Shorn of his locks, he has put on the yogi's ochre robe. Even the hardest heart must melt to see his pure and heavenly love. Smitten with man's deep woe, he has abandoned everything and pours out love unstintingly. Oh, would that Prem Das were his slave and passing from door to door might sing Gauranga's endless praise. The music was over. It was about dusk. Sri Ramakrishna was surrounded by his devotees. And we'll stop there. Any questions or comments on what we have read? Nope. Okay. Then we'll do our announcements. We had a good karma yoga today. Quite a few karma yogis turned up, and we got some more things straightened out in the garden, major things, like bringing dirt in and doing stuff that's occasional but very necessary. Tomorrow, we have Father Francis Clooney, a professor at Harvard Divinity School, speaking. Hindu and Catholic, priest and scholar, a love story. And we'll look forward to hearing him. Then next Wednesday, we will have Glimpses of a Great Soul, the portrait of Swami Sardananda, at 5 p.m. in the temple. And next Friday, the 18th, we will have the Gospel reading of Sri Ramakrishna, 5 p.m. Okay? Everyone stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll see you hopefully Sunday or Wednesday. Okay. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. See you.